Alright, today on the bench I have a Bernina 1020. I just finished servicing it, but I thought I would just kind of walk through the controls on it in case you have one of these, and this will be helpful to you. So essentially back here we have our spool pins. You can use either one if you're using a single thread. Rarely will people use two threads, but it's here for that if you want to. So essentially your spool, you go on here, your thread would go into this pre-tension, goes down through here, makes a U-turn under the check spring here, comes back up and goes from right to left in between this little spring, pull it down into this area of your take-up lever. It goes down here into this needle clamp guide right behind here from left to right, so it's behind this little wire, and then down through your needle from front to back. Put your thread down through your foot and put it to the back. Alright, that's how you thread the top. And the bottom is a standard 15 class bobbin case. So it will work just like any of the others. If you've never used these before, essentially the important part is this flat spring here. The thread goes under this spring as it exits the bobbin. The thread goes in this little notch here under this spring, and you pull it so that it's being squeezed by this spring. Whenever you put a bobbin in, you want to make sure that it reverses direction. So I'll use an example with a plastic bobbin here. You can use plastic or metal bobbins with this machine. It's totally fine. Now when you put your bobbin in, you want to make sure it looks like a Q with the thread coming off the right hand side, not off the left, because you want it to reverse direction. So it goes in there, and today I'm using one hand. One moment. Okay, I had to stop for a second. It goes in that notch underneath that spring and exits to the left, so that when it's exiting, I'm without my tripod today, but anyway, when the thread is pulling this way, the bobbin will rotate away. So just make sure that when you're putting it into this bobbin case, the thread is coming off the right hand side of the bobbin when you put it in. That's the important part. All right, onward. Up here, this is your bobbin winder. If you push this to the left, this is the stop. This starts to rotate. Okay. Push this, that'll deactivate it. It should deactivate on its own when a bobbin is full. Okay. If you're winding a bobbin, you want to go from here, and then likely over to this is your bobbin winder pre-tension. So it's got a little arrow on it. Let's take a look and see if we can see it on camera. Yeah, see how it's clockwise? You can see the point of the arrow right there. So you'll bring your thread over on this side of it and rotate it all the way around, and then where your bobbin is. All right, and what that's going to do is it's going to create some drag like tension does to make sure that when you wind it, it will wind nice and tight and not loosely. All right, over here, this is your upper tension. It should stay pretty much on that red line. I mean, you can go up or down on it, and that will adjust the amount of squeeze inside of here. That's your tension that's on the thread. So it's a tug of war between the top thread and the bobbin thread. And you want that neither the top nor the bottom to win the tug of war and pull the thread in either direction. You want the thread to meet up inside the fabric. All right, so as long as everything's set correctly, it should be on that red line at number 5. Up here, you've got your stitch selector. So right now we're looking at the green side. There's a green side and a red side. You can choose which stitches on the cam that you are wanting to use, down here, this outer silver ring, you can go green or red, and that's what chooses which stitches. To choose one of these stitches, you take this lever, bring it to the right, and then up. And stop on the stitch you want, and it will sew that stitch. Now, the machine is kind of cool in the way that it mechanically gives you different recommendations for stitch length and stitch width and which presser foot to use. So that's kind of cool. Now, obviously, you're still in control. These are just recommendations, but they're really good starting points. Up here, this knob has two purposes. The outer ring is for your stitch width. So this is how wide these particular stitches will stitch. So if you have a zigzag and you want it very small, then you would have it down on a low number. If you want that zigzag to be wide, you would go to a higher number. This knob here is for needle position. So you can have it in the center, to the right, to the left. And this one actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. So as you can see, the needle, you can see that needle, there it is. We can move it to different positions. This here is for your buttonhole. Okay. These are the different positions. You go through this series to form the stitch. So this buttonhole stitch, you would go to 1, and it would do the first part, 2, 3, all the way through until it forms the entire stitch. So typically the way it works is it will do one satin stitch down a side, and then the next one will do a bar tack, the next one will do another satin stitch, the next one will do a bar tack, and then I think maybe on this machine there's one that does like a lock stitch to hold it in place. I'm not going to run through each of those, but just know that that's what it does. It doesn't do this all by itself. You have to initiate each leg of this formation. Down here is your stitch length, so how long the stitches are. So obviously you can move it up and down to the different numbers. But what's really nice about this, let's say you've got it on a length of 3. If you wanted to back stitch at the beginning or end of your stitching, all you have to do is push it up to do reverse, and then it will go right back to where you had it set. That's really nice. On the bottom down here, along with the stitch selector, either red or green, you have this knob. This knob, as you can see, it has zigzag and the straight stitch icon there. And on this side, it has a darning icon, which means this is your feed drop. So if you put it over here, it'll drop your feed down, and you are in control of moving the fabric for free motion stitching or darning. Put it back here, and then it will go back to the stitches. On this side, you have your power. So if it's on 0, it's turned off, and these are your turned on. Okay? This is where your foot control plugs in, and your power cord comes out of the bottom, and it's a retractable cord. So if you push that little button on the back and the cord is unplugged, it will retract itself into a coil back inside the machine instead of having to have it separate. Okay? I guess the last part will be down here in the bobbin case area, in your hook area. So to release your bobbin case, you pull this little lever. That little arm fits into a notch that's right on the top of that black ring. To clean this area, if you have a jam or just for general cleaning, there's a release lever on the left side. You push it in. This will drop down. Be careful, these black rings are fragile, especially on these older machines, and they can break free. Your hook, grab the center and pull it out. This is a half circle. The driver in there, which is the other half of that circle, is what drives this hook around. To clean out inside of there along the track, put a drop of oil on it, and then put it back in. You hold the center, put the hook in opposite of the driver, so it completes the circle, like that. And then you can put your ring back up, click it into place, take your bobbin case, only use this lever to release. Make sure you're holding your bobbin in and put it onto that post with that finger up in the notch. It just locks into place. That's pretty much a walkthrough of the machine, a quick walkthrough. Something to note, that if you have one of these machines and the light isn't working, which is underneath here, there's a switch on the back. However, those switches on these models, typically those square switches, no longer work and you can't get them anymore. So a lot of people opt to bring a light close to the machine, an external light, or some people even buy these mounts and they have clip-on lights that have like bendable arms. So anyway, this is a Bernina 1020. If you have any questions, put them down below. Any comments? Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Both of those things are free and they help out tremendously. Until next time, take care.